Economy, top issue for voters. Good reason. Mortgage rates, 20-year high. Gas pump, not good, right? But oil companies, real good for them. Record profits. Why is this happening? Is there an end, and what do we do about it? Let's bring in someone who knows. Paula Pant, the host of Afford Anything podcast, 22 million downloads. It's great to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me to be here.
So what do you want people to know when they see and they're getting sticker shock? I can't borrow money. I can't buy a house. I can't sell a house.
Absolutely. So first of all, the sticker shock is understandable because people have gotten used to the fact that mortgage rates have been incredibly low for a very long time. So mortgage rates hit a record 20-year high. But think about it. 14 of the last 20 years have been since the 2008 recession. And historically, that's been a time when we've had rock bottom prices. If you go back to 1981, mortgage rates were 19% back then. So mortgage rates right now are close to what they historically always have been. We just got used to a long party that lasted for a long time.
So they say, okay, but that still stinks for me. So how do I buy a house?
It does still stink. So first of all, home prices from January 2020 through now have gone up about depending on what part of the country you live in, 20 to 30%, in some places 40%. So existing homeowners who did not buy at the peak, existing homeowners who had their homes pre-pandemic are sitting on a lot of equity. So sure, they're going to have to, if they want to sell, trade out of that fixed rate mortgage and into a much more expensive mortgage, but they got a lot of equity out of the deal too, so it's actually not so bad for them. It is bad for the people who bought at the peak, but that's overall a very small portion of people.
And then you have to combine what they can borrow with what they make. Inflation is up, wages are not up as much, which means that you're working against that. And that's where gas prices come in. Now, my problem with gas prices is it's easy in politics just to say it happens on your watch, Biden's your fault. If you were President, Paula, it would be your fault. But it's really not that simple because that price at the pump does not usually go with oil companies making record profits. What's going on?
Well, so there are a few things that are happening. First of all, there's in every good or service that is ever sold, there's supply and demand. In the pandemic, companies like ExxonMobil actually saw negative earnings. They were losing money, so they weren't making any profits. But now, demand is still strong. Even though gas prices are high, demand is high. And so as long as demand remains high, they're going to price gas at what the market can bear. And
they're not putting money into extraction or because they're making the profits and giving it to their shareholders, which the shareholders have been asking for.
Right.
So that's why you don't have as much supply as well, including that Biden has done whatever he's done with leases. But people want to keep it simple.
They are issuing dividends, which is, I mean, it's arguably, it's overall for the economy, that's a very, very small piece of inflation or, they're pumping money back into the hands of their shareholders. Which include, a lot of people who have 401ks. Your average mom and pop, small business owner, your average teacher, whoever has a 401k with a big index fund, they're getting a piece of that pie. So it is in some way helping at least people who have 401ks or ordinary investors.
So the people are watching, they're just trying to figure out how to deal with what's going on out there. What are your tips?
So a couple of things. First of all, in terms of saving money, I would urge people to think about the three biggest expenses that the average American has, which are housing, transportation, and food. And the reason that I point those three out is because a lot of times when it comes to savings, people over-focus on the little stuff. They'll over-focus on not buying the latte or not ordering the avocado toast. But in the big picture, and we're talking years here, the home that you live in, the type of transportation that you drive, the type of car, how gas guzzling is your vehicle, and how often do you go to restaurants or order from DoorDash or Uber Eats or Grubhub? Those are the decisions, the big three, we call them, that are going to drive a lot of your spending.
So that's what to look at.
Yeah, those big three.
Paula Pant, I appreciate you so much. Your podcast is very interesting, and now my audience understands why. Thank you for helping them understand the situation around them a little bit better.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.